Welcome back, guys. We are getting ready to jump on into our second series of the day. GAM taking on 𝘀𝘀. I'm just going to jump straight on to my analyst. Tim, do you want to start us off? GAM, they've been looking a little bit shaky so far this split, or so far in week one. What do you think is going wrong? Can they turn things around here in week two?
I think they can turn things around. I think they have still really good players in their lineup. And they have actually won their last series on Sunday. One game looked a bit bad, but the rest of the series was actually looking pretty nice from them. And I think they have the players, but they have to perform, and especially like mid jungle duo has to start being more consistent.
And 𝘀𝘀, for you, on the same point?
Yeah, 100% agree. I think GAM is just very rusty going into week one. They obviously were shaking off a lot of that rust, especially in their second series as well as the third, where they finally got their first series win. So there's no reason for me to doubt that they're going to be continuing their upward trend, especially against the likes of Team 𝘀𝘀, who are in fact the last place team in our league at the moment.
Now, I do want to talk a little bit about Team 𝘀𝘀, because I'm a believer in Team
Okay.
𝘀𝘀. Maybe I'm a deluded believer in Team 𝘀𝘀, but I think they've shown promise from time to time. I think no one here doubts how well the likes of Yoshino and Palette can play, and I think we have seen the kind of moments of brilliance from 𝘀𝑚 when he did have that Syndra game. So I think they've kind of got some of the elements there, 𝘀𝘀s, but how much more is it going to take for 𝘀𝘀 to be able to really get this roster to gel together and have consistent performances?
I'm not a believer. I mean, if you want to talk about them having potential, I would liken them to Saigon Buffalo a couple splits ago, where they were, I think, either mid tier or bottom tier, and then the next split they came in and they finally picked up the pace, and I think they ended up second. So this, I feel like if you want to go with this 𝘀𝘀 roster, this split is not going to be what you're looking at. You're going to be looking at next split to finally have an impact, which is fair enough because you're not really going anywhere this split, right? Next split you have the possibility of MSI. So there is a very decent chance, I don't want to say big chance, that this is just a very developmental roster that 𝘀𝘀 is looking for to finally have some modicum of success going into spring. But winter is just not it for them, I think.
Well, I guess, Tim, it's probably a good thing, isn't it, that the next split is only a couple of months away, right?
Yeah, I mean it's very good, and it invites you, of course, having this winter split where nothing really is on the line to have more of a developing roster that you can then bring into the next year to really perform there. And I agree, they have shown that they have potential, but I'm not sure if it's enough. And especially you talked about it, 𝘀𝑚, he had good late game performances. The big question is, can he perform in the early game? And I think that is where GAM is really strong. They want to play through the early game, they want to get off to an early start, and then they have to fix actually their mid and late game decision making.
So I want to get both of your predictions before we jump on into picks and bans, which is not too far away. 𝘀𝘀s, I'll start with you.
I think my prediction sheet has GAM 2-0. I think I'm going to stick with that. I think GAM is on an upwards trend. 𝘀𝘀 has been sort of on an upwards trend of their own. It's just not as strong, and obviously their players don't peak as high as GAM's. So yeah, GAM 2-0.
Tim?
I think I'm predicting 2-1 for GAM. I think they have looked very shaky last week, and even the series they won, when they had a very bad game where they would fall behind early and then just get rolled. So I think they might give up one game, but I still think they win the series.
Okay, because I was on the same boat as 𝘀𝘀s before the start of the day, thinking,
You
okay,
changed it because
2-0.
you're dirty.
I changed it about 15 minutes ago because I think, this has been the day of upsets, and usually you don't get two upsets, but I genuinely have faith in 𝘀𝘀. I think that they have potential, and I said yesterday, I think we're going to be seeing a surprise result at some point this week, and maybe that's 𝘀𝘀 being able to take one game of a GAM. Let's talk a little bit about matchups, Tim. Is there any specific matchup that you think will be defining to this series?
I think specifically the two mid lane players, or mid lane for GAM, I think is so detrimental. If they can get him on a supportive pick to roam over the map, to work together with 𝘀𝘀, and as a mid jungle duo just dominate the map, then I think that is where GAM is really strong. And if on the other hand, I have a brain lag, I'm sorry. If that is shut down, then I think they look much worse.
Okay, and Spoods, do you kind of agree about this mid-jungle duo for GAM?
Yeah, I'm actually 100% in agreement. I think this mid jungle is where the action is really going to be for GAM. It's sort of like a similarity. In a lot of ways, this match is very similar to the last match, which is not really doing very good for my prediction of a 2-0 GAM victory. But anyway, I feel like GAM's win condition is very similar in the sense that 𝘁𝗃 and 𝘁𝗀𝗃 are really good facilitators. 𝘁𝗃 can just carry the entire game on his own if he decides to have a really good day. So focusing on this mid jungle duo and even them independently, I think is really important to sort of project the direction that this GAM roster is going to go this series.
Now, I don't know why, but why is one of our narratives on our prep document 𝘂𝗀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀𝗀? Can
Oh,
either
God.
of you explain what this is?
Yeah, Tim, why did you put that there?
Wait, hold on.
Okay, that was a meme, but I'm gonna. This is just completely out of nowhere, but unironically, VCS is such a huge part of my life now. I literally wake up, VCS, and go to bed. I had a dream last night. I was casting GAM versus Flash, and 𝘂𝗀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀 picked
Okay,
top police. It's just out of nowhere. I
right.
just thought I'd throw it out there. Why not? You just had
Okay.
to pick it out of the narrative, so sure.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it
Okay.
there, right? If it's in the narratives, we need to talk about it, right?
I mean, we did.
We just did. So if 𝘂𝗀𝗰𝗶𝗃 picks up 𝘂𝗀𝗃, what's your reaction going to be? Just
I mean, they'll win the game. Like, duh. Come on,
they'll win the game.
come on, 𝘁𝗀𝗃. They'll just win the game.
I need
It
to know
works.
exactly what happened in your dream when 𝘂𝗀𝗰𝗃 picked 𝘂𝗃. Like, I want to understand all the narratives of that game so that if it does happen, I'm prepped.
They win the game. That's literally,
They
literally.
win the
Okay,
game. Okay, is that it?
I'll describe it. Right, they picked in
Right.
champ select. He picked 𝘁𝗃, and then
Okay.
it just cut to the Nexus exploding. Literally it. That's
Okay. Were
literally
you
it.
sure which Nexus it was exploding?
It was the enemy Nexus. I guarantee you, 100%,
Okay, it was the enemy
110%.
Nexus.
Can we
I
move on
really,
now?
we can move on. Tim, I'll come back to you. We spoke a little bit about 𝘁𝗃 and 𝘁𝗃. You talked about the importance of that mid jungle duo. I want to go back to Flash. I want to talk about the two solo laners for Flash because we know 𝘂𝗀𝗃's potential and we know how 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀 is. I casted 𝘁𝗃's first game as a player, effectively in the VCS. It was not good, but in the second series, it was really good for 𝘁𝗃. So how impactful is this essentially matchup going to be for Flash?
I think it's going to be very important. I think the two solo lanes, they have to show up and go in. Going toe-to-toe with 𝘁𝗀𝗃 and 𝘁𝗃, who are both very strong players. They have been looking not great, especially 𝘁𝗀𝗃 was I think ill for a long period before the season started, but he seems to be back on form and tries his best, of course, taking over the game. And with that, I think we're going into the draft.
Into draft we do go, and is that Syndra picked up? And for anyone who remembers back to last week, that's the champion that 𝘁𝗃 was playing ever so well on. For Team Flash, they're going to be answering with the 𝘁𝗏𝗏 for Dante.
Yeah, frankly, I'm just happy to see that, 𝘁𝗃's not on Galio duty again. I like to see that he's an actual mid laner. Don't tell 𝘁𝗏𝗆 I said that. But yeah, 𝘁𝗃 on the Syndra, obviously denying it from 𝘁𝗃, the point you brought up. But I think that we have seen 𝘁𝗃 have really solid performances on the Syndra in splits prior to this. So if he's ready to derust rather, this is a very solid pick that he should be able to do it on.
Yep, and on the other hand, it's going to be Style, who has played 2 games, lost both of them so far for GAM, now comes back in and picks up the 𝘀𝗃, which I want to see if it's a fair 𝘀𝗃, because I think it should still be playable on this patch. I know that it was picked up on 22 mostly by most people and then immediately hotfixed. So I'm not sure how strong it is, and it could really work out with the burst from Qiyana and Syndra, just making sure that nobody gets to live on the side of a TF.
Yeah, 100% agree. I like to see the 𝘀𝗃 as well. I like to see that, GAM are starting to play a little bit more meta. One of the main criticisms that we did have last week of their sort of champion pool is that they really refused. They just straight up refused to play meta, right? They play Galio mid, they play Diana jungle. None of that nonsense this time. We get the Qiyana coming in for 𝘁𝗏𝗏, a very aggressive jungler. I think it fits his playstyle very well. And yeah, 𝘀𝗃 on, rather the style on 𝘀𝗃, He hasn't won a game just yet this split, but it's a very historical pick for this player. So I like to see that coming in as well. Meanwhile, on the other side, Team Flash, the Orianna coming through a very safe, stable mid laner, a very safe, stable mage coming in from 𝗁𝗏. I like to see that as well. I think this is a very solid start to both drafts.
Yeah, but now it is important. Nidalee does need setup on support and mostly top lane as well if they want to play around that. I think the Nidalee with having an Orianna in mid lane is already not going to have the easiest of times because mid priority is a big question mark into Syndra, and then you don't have any setup to gank mid lane. So I think you need setup on at least one side lane, and especially I think top lane will be important. But they are red side, so they can look for a counter pick in top lane to make sure they have a good matchup there.
Yeah, they're most likely saving counterpick for the 𝘀𝗀𝗰𝗋. Well, for 𝘀𝗀𝗰𝗋, there's only one 𝘀𝗀𝗰𝗋. Obviously, he's probably not going to pick 𝘁𝗋𝗋. I was going to say I like to see him on Irelia, but it got banned. He did have really solid performances on the Irelia, so that is a good ban coming in for the side of GAM. However, yeah, I'm completely out.
There's the VCS special, of course, stood up.
No.
Together with the Nidalee.
No. We don't talk about that.
No.
I was going to
Okay, actually, that's a bit insane. I was actually thinking about it. 𝘁𝗀𝗆 is not nerfed on 21. Support 𝘁𝗁𝗆. So it is still playable and it is good setup. And on the other hand, the 𝘁𝗁𝗆 gets locked in. So I'm interested to see because I never got to cast this champion before he got nerfed. And now I really want to see what the champion does in game.
I think we've seen 𝘁𝗆 at least once this split before.
I want to say twice. I can't remember which the second time was, but I think...
Here, I'll pull up the stat real quick.
Yeah, I'm going to do that as well. We'll see who can get the stats up first. One thing I do want to bring up...
Wait, no, hang on.
Okay, while Spoods tries to work it out, Tim, one thing I do want to ask.
3 times.
Whenever there's an Orianna ball delivery system, is it good currently for Flash?
I mean, 𝘁𝗆𝗆 is a great ball delivery system, and if they can find a top laner that can also do that, it would be insane for them. So I'm looking at something that can deliver the ball up and top there. And right now, Akshan is being hovered. I'm hoping that it's not gonna be that. Yeah, I mean, what else? It is the VCS special, isn't it? Like, it has to be. Yes, it is. The Renekton coming in, and it's. I mean, together with Nidalee, you have great setup. You can play with the Orianna ball. I don't hate the pick here. I don't think it's great because there is a lot to peel him. There's the 𝘁𝗁𝗆. You have Syndra kicking him away. Jace kicking him away. And 𝘂𝗔's all around very safe. So he's not going to have an easy game. But what else could it be in top lane?
Yeah,
okay,
overall... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, we've got our 2 drafts in. I want to get your thoughts on who you think's come out of the drafting phase on top.
Yeah, I'm just going to go in and say I think, I like Flash's drafts a little bit more. I think this is more standard, what do you expect from a standard team. But GAM being GAM, I like how this draft that they gotten themselves is very aggressive. And if they're able to play to their strengths, I think GAM come out on top.
Okay.
I have to agree. I think that you have a very strong, easy to execute teamfight comp on the one hand here, and on the other hand, GAM. They have a harder to execute comp, but if they execute on it, I think they have a much stronger comp, and it's just a question of can they actually execute well enough.
Okay, there we go. We've heard from our analyst. We'll be hearing from Tim again at the end of the game. But Spoods, I'm just going to say for Flash, are we just going to be seeing Dante on the top side playing towards 𝘀𝗀𝗰𝗋's Renekton?
I mean, you more or less have to, right? Unless 𝗁𝗏 has really stepped up in scrims or something and really had consistent, and the keyword is consistent, solid performances. Because from what we've seen from 𝗁𝗏, he's not really been the best player, not the best, the most reliable player for the side of Team Flash, right? So I think focusing on 𝘀𝗀𝗰𝗋, if he is able to step up, because he has been underperforming, if he's able to have great performances like the 𝘀𝗀𝗰𝗋 that we know, then yeah, I think you play towards him 100% of the time.
Okay, well, let's see how this one goes. So for Team Flash playing towards top side, what about for GAM though? Because it feels to me that you can play around pretty much any of these lanes. If you get 𝘀𝗏𝗆, 𝘁𝗏𝗆, or Style ahead, they're all going to do so much work.
Yeah, and that's the sort of risk coming in from Team Flash, right? They have to sort of shut down all 3 lanes, because even if one gets out of hand, that is a very, very quickly spinning snowball. And it can get really large, really quickly. And this is GAM we're talking about. I'm very confident that they've bounced back from their rust last week. And I hope they don't make me eat my words. So please give us some solid performances.
Well, if you want, both 𝘁𝗵 and 𝘁𝗏 just missed their first cues of the game, so maybe there's
I don't know what you're
still a
talking about.
Either way, we're jumping on into game, and the Dukes are coming in. I think that's the way we can positively phrase it. Both 𝘁𝗵 and 𝘁𝗏 avoiding the skill shots. Both junglers starting on their red buffs on the red side of their respective maps, which means we might be seeing Dante towards the bottom side, but 𝘀𝗀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀𝗀 looking for the level 1 cheeky brush play. But now this is where Style can start to come in, throwing out the arrows as BA just tanks up, and 𝘁𝗁𝗃 is down so low, and he's going to have so little impact in this lane. Has already started, or pardon me, hasn't actually used that health pot just yet.
Yeah, 𝗏𝗃. This is a sort of 𝘁𝗀 cheese that we see every so often. I'm not entirely sure. I feel like there are other champions that you can do this with. It just so happens that 𝘁𝗀 seems to be the only one that I keep seeing in the VCS do this sort of level 1 cheese. And sure, fair enough, if you're on the side of Team Flash, you're probably thinking to yourselves, like, we probably cannot match up against GAM individually in terms of mechanics. So we could lean towards side of cheese a little bit. Picking 𝘁𝗀 in and of itself is a little bit cheesy as well, so perhaps we see some strange plays that they've been preparing. I don't know how confident I can be about that, but it's certainly something that could be on the horizon.
We're also seeing that lethality Xayah coming through, and actually Style starting with the tier, so going to have a lot less lane damage than if they had started with the longsword and then the potions. As in the mid lane, 𝘁𝗏 kind of doing what we would expect in this matchup. The Syndra pushing in the Orianna under tower in the early stages of the game.
Yep, this is gonna be a pretty stable lane up until the junglers decide to get involved. Perhaps even they are very aggressive today, aren't they? They really want to fight. But yeah, I think this is gonna be quite a bit of a stalemate going on in the mid lane until someone else gets involved, because yeah, Syndra's just gonna have to push. 𝘁𝗵's gonna play a little safer. They're probably gonna be more or less even at the end of the day in terms of CS. Sure, we are seeing 𝘁𝗏 with a bit more of a lead, but 𝘁𝗵 should be able to equalize. Both junglers currently on their respective scuttles as well, relatively even so far.
And now we're seeing Dante pathing towards the bottom side of the map. I think he's going to have a little look to see if the Krugs are up, jumps over the wall and realizes, hey, the Krugs aren't here. I'm going to back, probably can't dive this bottom lane as 𝘁𝗏 just goes in. And 𝘁𝗵 is a pop. That was beautifully played from the GAM jungler. Yeah,
GAM just deciding we want to be the first ones involved in this mid lane. 𝘁𝗏 coming in on the Qiyana saying, I want to get first blood. He picks up the first blood. And now this is a Qiyana with 1 kill. And 1 kill is really all you need for Qiyana to get online in the early game. Has resurrected Dirk already. I want to see where this pressure is going to go afterwards. It's a very textbook dive. Nice stun into another stun into picking up the kill. Good job coming in. Good synergy from GAM.
To be honest, I thought 𝘁𝗵 was low, and I thought 𝘁𝗏 just went over the wall and picked up the kill by himself, but I didn't realize 𝘁𝗏 did the setup, as that's a good flash from 𝘁𝗏. 𝘂𝗏 gets taken down, Dante picks up the kill. That was a great outplay from 𝘂𝗏 to be able to pick up a kill in that trade.
Yep, whenever we get a replay, we are going to come out and we're going to see a fight. 𝘂𝗏, like you said, great outplay. It was absolutely worth it coming in from him. He forces a teleport from 𝘂𝗏. I think he's going to use one for himself as well. Sure, he trades the kill over to Dante, but you get one back. You were going to die either way.
Now let's just take a look at this top lane replay, because there's a really nice flash at some point from 𝘂𝗏.
And yeah, just no vision at the moment. I think they should know Dante should be up here, but yep, that's a great flash to just get out. And he picks up the kill. Dante just walks in. Another textbook play, another textbook gang coming in the top lane this time.
And now we're seeing 𝘁𝗏 just freezing this wave, daring 𝘁𝗵 to step forward to the wave, and 𝘁𝗵 knows, well, I can't really do that. I don't know where 𝘁𝗏 is, although we're seeing both junglers looking towards this top side of the map. It's going to turn into a 2v2 play. Javelin toss will miss its mark, and Dante is shot towards 𝘁𝗏, who picks up their kill. Flash are getting annihilated, and they're looking to go on the tower as well. 𝘁𝗏 takes another tower shot, but GAM will retreat. 3 kills over to the reigning champions.
Yep, nice setup coming in from GAM. Good response off the back of having good vision around this area. It looks like they might not be done just yet. Levi's just outside of vision, so Yoshino, if he goes in, could be having a really bad time for himself. He's going to back away.
Yeah, 𝘀cie knew it was coming. So Style getting taken down low. 𝘀_𝗏𝗀 with that final tower shot and final auto from Style almost gets it killed. But will be able to stay alive as Yoshino
shouldn't stay.
He's wasted so much time waiting. He hasn't been able to get the experience. Sure, he's hit level 6, but he's just missing out on gold, missing out on extra XP, and 𝘀cie is more than happy with this.
Yep, 𝘀cie picking up a lot of extra gold, and more importantly, I think they get the tempo advantage quite a bit here. He's going to get even more gold off the back of this, because keep in mind, Yoshino doesn't have TP, expended it earlier, and now we're going to see a dive in bot.
Style able to sidestep the javelin toss. Does Dante go in?
Not sure they win this.
𝘀cie. Yeah, Style and 𝘀cie just going to back off from the tower as Dante backs off as well, and allows 𝘀cie and Style to return into XP range and gold picking up range, you could say as well. Ooh, shockwave, good flash from 𝘁𝗏, because if he got hit by that, Dante's spear would have almost certainly have landed.
Yeah, I like to see what's going on right now. Is GAM is sort of absorbing pressure very well. We are seeing Team Flash be very proactive on the map. We see them attempt a lot of dives, but
Oh,
GAM,
𝘀cie!
they're turning it on for themselves this time.
𝘀cie misses the head, but Pulverize ends up just pulverizing. And, well, 𝘀_𝗏 will sacrifice his life to keep 𝘁𝗀 alive as the curtain call comes through. And one will land, a second. Oh, 𝘀cie is low. Deadly Flourish, do you believe? No, 𝘀𝗏 is going to be able to walk out, get slowed, flash forward. 𝘁𝗀 picks up the kill. Now he's looking for Star, but Levi surely will just pick up the kill, and Style will not be in range of 𝘁𝗀 to land an auto. 𝘁𝗀 just running. 𝘁𝗀 will die, and he's only got that one kill on 𝘀𝗏 to pay for his sins.
Yep, nice delay coming in from GAM to make sure that they had adequate backup arriving on time to sort of respond to that. Once again, proactive play coming in from Team Flash, and this is something that I brought up earlier. And I want to just focus in a little bit on while I have a little bit of time, because we are seeing, this fight, I guess.
Yoshino knocked back by 𝘀𝗀 as he thought maybe to have a little trade. Here's a replay of what happened in the bottom lane.
Yeah, missing the hit by Pulverize, kind of unfortunate. Doesn't even matter though. 𝘀𝗏 goes in. He knows he's dead either way. Tries to get a bit of CC down, but it doesn't matter. He dies, and I think 𝘁𝗀 manages to pick up the kill onto B here. Might be a little aggressive here, thinking he can perhaps reload in time, get the kill on Style, but he could have just walked away. Maybe
he could have just flashed and fourth shotted Style.
Yeah,
right?
He could have. No, he doesn't have flash. Wait.
He flashed for the kill onto B, so surely he should have just flashed and hit Style.
Exactly. Style might not have been in vision range. He was in the river.
Oh,
but who knows? Maybe on the spot decision making coming in from 𝘁𝗀. 𝘁𝗀 hasn't always been the best at decision making we've seen last week, so definitely a possibility. Shockwave.
Shockwave into Deadly Flourish. Do they have the damage? Levi shows up. 𝘁𝗏 just gonna get bounced around and taken down. Featherstorm, Blade Caller, not gonna be able to find the lockdown onto anyone from Team Flash. And it's just another kill going the way of a GAM. Okay, curtain call, Style. Well, the shots are being tagged by 𝘁𝗏, and 𝘁𝗏 will end up dying for it to try to keep his ADC alive. I don't know if that was the call, because 𝘁𝗏 is the one who's ahead right now, not Style.
Yeah, I think you should have just let Style die, sort of trade over the kill, let 𝘁𝗏 continue his snowball. But we are seeing Team Flash, their efforts are finally paying off. I was drilling it over and over again that if they continue this proactive streak, two things could happen. Either they could lose in spectacular fashion, or they could sort of bite back against GAM, and this is precisely what we're seeing. Let's take a look at how this happened. A very nice gank. 3 men into 𝘁𝗏. Just gets a kill. Wait, what replay was that?
Yeah, I was thinking, I don't remember that. When did that happen?
Hang on a minute.
Yeah, okay, that's the win. Either way, Yoshino is going on to Levi. The Nature's Grasp is starting to roll as we get into very slow playback and we speed back up again. 𝘁𝗏 teleporting in, Levi being run down. Levi will, oh pardon me, it will be 𝘁𝗏 with a shutdown onto Levi.
And 𝘀𝗀cie, what's going on? We're seeing Team Flash fight up against GAM. They have equalized the gold lead. They're even a little bit ahead at the moment. I'm just flabbergasted at the moment. They're playing extremely well right now for the side of Team Flash.
One thing I did want to bring up is, okay, this is 𝘀cie now getting caught out. Or, well, to be honest, I think it's Yoshino who's stuck in with 𝘀cie, but 𝘀cie doesn't have too much mana. Yoshino will burn the Dominus, and 𝘀cie just gets run down. Yoshino flashing to pick up the solo bolo. And to answer your question that you were saying, Spoods, about Team Flash coming back into this, one thing that I did want to bring up, but we didn't really have time to do during the analyst desk, is the fact that we all know that mechanically and individually, GAM's players are better than Team Flash. And so far, in the first week, GAM have been ahead in pretty much every single role at 15 minutes. It's not in the laning phase that things go wrong. It's afterwards. It's the macro that maybe they're just lacking a little bit on here in the winter split.
Yep, I agree. Like at this point, I would call this still more or less sort of the laning phase, which is sort of the worrying part for me. But I'm not going to be able to talk much.
𝘁𝗶𝗹𝗀 just about surviving. The curtain call takes a 𝘁𝗀𝗋 down fairly low. Scatter of the week, not actually going to connect onto anyone from the side of Team Flash. First strike of the game has been secured by GAM, which was, you know, another kind of point that we should have brought up. The fact that GAM usually, oh, pardon me, they're always going for these Drakes over these Rift Herald plays, despite how far ahead they are early, and maybe it's one of the reasons they aren't able to snowball these leads.
Yeah, and they are finally doing just that. They pick up the Drake, but...
Did they get Rift?
Did they get Rift? They did not. Wait, where is Rift?
Did they just drop it? I think they just dropped it bot, right?
Yeah, that's why that bot
the
tower
whole
is
play. I think we missed the whole Rift being dropped down.
This is a very confusing game. I'm
We're
gonna blame the
together
replays.
what happened. I still don't know where that replay of 𝘁𝗀ie getting like 3-man dive, when that happened in relation to everything else. I don't know if he teleported back in and then died, or if it was before that whole
it had
fight
to be. It had to be a few
saw.
minutes late because the kill score didn't change between the time we went into the replay and came out of the replay. So
yeah,
it's just a super delayed replay that sort of threw us off for, well, up until now, I guess, because I'm still like wondering what exactly is going on. Sort of like Whiplash, you know. I came into this game sort of expecting GAM to dominate. Yoshino going in again.
Well, Javelin Toss not going to connect. Oh, wow! That healing is ridiculous. And Yoshino survives the Unleashed Power. Dante sidestepping the Dark Sphere. 𝘁𝗀𝗋 going under tower. 𝘁𝗀𝗋 will pick up the kill onto Yoshino. And GAM turn it around in the dying moments of the fight.
Yep, 𝘁𝗀𝗋, the silver lining for the side of GAM right now is that 𝘁𝗀𝗋's having a really pop-off performance. Sure, he had a very questionable death earlier on in the game. That was a shutdown. A lot of gold going over to the side of Team Flash. But he's 6-1-1. He's still a very good facilitator. He's still a very good carry for this team. And if he's able to continue this streak, right, as 𝘁𝗀 misses every single Jhin ultimate. Yeah, one of the things that I don't like to see is when Qiyana gets super far ahead. Sure, 𝘁𝗀𝗋 is a very good carry player. I don't think we really need to talk about this. It's just a very good dive coming in. Looks a little dicey at the moment, but when Kati shows up, the Unleashed Power doesn't kill Yoshino. Dante gets a little low. This looks very sketchy, but 𝘁𝗀𝗋 here with the clutch play goes under the tower with the supreme display of talent, gets the double kill, and he's looking like a very solid performer at the moment. My issue, though, again, is even if 𝘁𝗀𝗋 is a very solid carry, Qiyana isn't in the late game. This gold lead has to go to other members of his team in order for them to really, you know, snowball this lead into the late game, because Team Flash has shown that they, on occasion, are able to play a really solid late game, and I want to see GAM be able to tighten up their play in order to sort of match that going past the 20-minute mark.
Absolutely. A 1k goal lead for the side of GAM at the moment. Dante just trying to fish with some javelin tosses, but not really finding anyone at the current point in the game. We can see the where the gold is, and it is 1k. That 1k goal lead for GAM is all on 𝘁𝗀𝗋.
Yeah, I wonder where it is. Exactly. And yeah, my issue now is whether or not GAM sort of pigeonholes themselves into playing around 𝘁𝗀𝗋, which yeah, like 𝘀𝗰𝗋's not really the champion you want to do that on. Sure, she's really good into the mid game, but once late game starts rolling around, if we get that late, 𝘀𝗰𝗋 really starts falling off a cliff. And it's going to be up to champions like the Syndra, who is currently being caught out, to win.
Oh, Nature's Grass comes through, Shockwave. And 𝘁𝗋𝗋 just can't play League of Legends at that point. So much CC all in one go. And 𝘁𝗀𝗺 will pick up his second kill of the game.
They're not expecting Team Flash to be where Team Flash is playing around, if that sort of makes sense. They are expecting Team Flash to play a little bit more standard, but what Team Flash is doing is saying, okay, maybe we can't match you 1v1, so we'll just bring more players. They're sort of grouping at a very accelerated time frame at the moment, going for 3v1s, 4v1s, wherever they can find them. And it's working out so far for them. Sure, they're going to lose some turrets. They might even lose a little bit more here.
Okay, almost dying. Pallet following B over the wall. Bramble Smash gets the slow. That's a good two-man stun from Levi. He's going to force the disengage style low. Oh, that was a bullet from downtown, but not quite going to connect. Pallet, though, will be connecting back to his fountain. 𝘁𝗺𝗺 picks up his third kill of the game, and 𝘁𝗺𝗺, he played the early game safe. Sure, he got caught by Levi, but that was a very good play from GAM. Apart from that, 𝘁𝗺𝗺's been playing well yet again.
Yes, he has, and I like to see that macro coming in from Team Flash because it was a really, not really, but a bit of a delayed response, right, towards the bot lane. They still saved their tower, which is the important part, as well as when they were chasing GAM through their bot side jungle, we saw pings coming down onto Style. They identified that this Xayah is alone in the mid lane, and they committed, this is exactly what you're going to see, Jet2 towards this Xayah, and we are seeing Nidalee come down towards this mid lane as well. They sort of corral Xayah into running towards the rest of Team Flash, and they identify that they can collapse on this, and this is exactly what we're seeing. They get the kill on the GAM AD carry, and the rest of the GAM roster isn't even here to respond. They get nothing off the back of that play.
Now, something I do want to bring up, in regards to Dante's Nidalee, I didn't realize Jankos had, decided to play a split over in the VCS.
I mean, there is a meme about 𝘀𝗀𝗋𝗀 being a Vietnamese sleeper agent. I'm not going to try to pronounce the name Vietnamese fans gave him, but it does exist.
Okay. Because I just feel like Dante has missed quite a few javelin tosses. Sure, there was the one in the top lane, which 𝘁𝗋𝗋 flashed. Not much Dante can do about that. But I feel like his hit rate hasn't been the highest. And if some of those have landed, I think Team Flash would be in a slightly better situation than they currently are.
Sure, but we have to keep in mind, right, that Team Flash should not be in this position at all. In my opinion, at least. Maybe you believe in them to the point where this is completely normal for you. But I don't think that we were supposed to have this dominant of a showing. I think I can call it that at this point. Dominant of a showing coming in from Team Flash.
I think what we've seen from week one is the 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀𝗀 kind of script itself, right? We've seen BTS playing very well earlier on today. We've seen 𝘀𝗀𝗋 playing phenomenally well over the first week. We've seen GAM struggling. We've seen 𝘁𝗀𝗋𝗀 struggling. I mean, 𝘁𝗀𝗋𝗀𝗀 got 2-0'd by 𝘀𝗀𝗋, right? Or was it Cerberus who 2-0'd them? 𝘀𝗀𝗋𝗀. So I genuinely think we're in a very close split of the VCS, and maybe that's because we're having a winter split, but I think there's been a lot of promise showed by teams, and we spoke about it on, I think, the very first day of the winter split. The fact that a lot of teams have a lot of new members who've never played in the VCS A split before, and as a result of that, it does mean that over time we'll see these players get better and better. Maybe that's happening a bit quicker than we expected. A Style just gets
hits a spear. You know what, 𝘀𝗋𝗋, you're absolutely right. If Dante hits more spears like that, they are absolutely going to be in a much more dominant position than if Dante continues missing spears and doing his best 𝘀𝗀𝗋𝗀's cosplay. 100% agree.
I think Team Flash have realized, Dante said, look guys, I can't hit the spears. You need to CC people, then I'll hit the spears. So can you please drop down the CC first? That's what they do. Dante hits the spear, and Team Flash are even in gold.
Yeah, this is a really good catch coming in from Pallet, the ultimate from the 𝘁𝗀𝗋𝗀. Doing a lot of work this game. I think they caught the Syndra last time. Doing a lot this time as well. We're seeing, a Jhin finally be able to land shots, which is something that was sorely lacking from one of the GAM games we saw last week. So that's also a very nice surprise coming in for the side of Team Flash. They are able to press buttons, 𝘀𝗀𝗋𝗀. They're doing it, and they're doing it well, and that's why they're winning this game, at least by a little bit of a margin. Hey, he hits it again!
That's another one! Forces the Featherstorm. Okay, so essentially is that Dante post 18 minutes hits his skill shots. Team Flash are playing well, but this leads me now I'm worrying about GAM, because this is another game where GAM have had a lead early on. And again, this is showing the individual skill of the GAM members, but it is post-that, it's the team play that is missing. And it's the team play that's usually the hardest thing to be able to get as a team. The mechanical stuff, you know, if you're inting the early games, usually you can kind of get around that, which we've seen from Team Flash over the course of what is now 4 series. And then another curtain call is dropped. Who's the focus? There's an Nature Grass coming as well. We have seen this one, but Team Flash were a bit closer, as in the backline was 𝘀cie𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀, but 𝘀cie𝗰𝗋 just getting popped. Dante going in, he's going to be able to find 1 kill. Now they look over to B. 𝘀𝗰𝗋's in the backline, could potentially look for something, but Dante's on the run. So is B. It's a 2-man scatter of the week. 𝘀𝗋 forced to flash away, and it is a 1-for-1 so far. Dante going in on 𝘁𝗀𝗋, or 𝘁𝗀𝗋 more specifically, getting the kill onto Dante, makes it a 2-for-1 in favor of GAM.
Yeah, okay, this was just a little bit too much of a... Don't know the word in English. Overreach, let's put it that way, coming in from Team Flash, right? They know that these sorts of engages work well for them. It has worked well for them like the past 2 times they tried it. The issue with their execution this one time is that they tried it a little bit too far. Let's take a look where 𝘀𝗀, this is his favorite sniping position, by the way. This is the 4th time this game he's opened up the curtains from that place. 𝘀𝗀𝗋 coming in a little too early, a little too far as well. 𝘀𝗋, his ultimate doesn't even reach all the way there. Nice shockwave to sort of buy a little bit more space. But GAM, right now, with 𝘁𝗀𝗋 here, deals more damage in these extended fights, and this is exactly what we're seeing. Their efforts are sort of paying off, and Team Flash, with a bit of an overreach, finally give the game over to GAM a little bit more than I think they would have liked.
And I think that's a perfect term you used, overreach, because the side of GAM were just too far away. That Nature's Cross was never really going to root down members. Dante, did he steal that one away? He did not. Now 𝘀𝗀𝗋 joining into the fray. Supreme display of talent, followed by the headbutt pulverize. And then there's going to be more CC coming through. 𝘀𝗀𝗋 just trying to tank for Dante, forced to flash over the wall. Dante will fall nonetheless. And there's more kills going over. 𝘁𝗀𝗋 over the wall, picks up the 2nd kill of the play. There's a brave attempt from Dante to steal the Drake away, but an unsuccessful attempt.
Yeah, I'm not... 𝘀𝗀𝗋?
I think he's killed himself. I think he's killed himself. There's an 8 grass zones, and we'll keep 𝘀𝗀𝗋 alive.
𝘀𝗋 is really doing a lot of work this game, but that was very classic 𝘀𝗀 play, right? How many times have we seen him walk up in a lane just a little bit too far and get collapsed on, right? This is something that this player really has to begin cutting out of his repertoire, let's put it. As we are going to see another replay. This is just going to be 𝘁𝗀𝗋 being blown up. That's a nice portion of shutdown goal going over to GAM. And it's unfortunate, right? This is just a series of, let's call it sloppy plays coming in from Team Flash, right? We praised their sort of macro decisions earlier on when they were able to find some set plays, go for those 1v4s, go for those 1v3s, but that's not what's happening right now. They're going for overreach. They're thinking they're stronger than they actually are, and GAM is just reading this game spot on. They know that there are fights that they can take, and they take them very, very readily, which is the reason why they now find themselves at a 3k gold advantage, where earlier the gold was even and the tempo was on the side of Team Flash.
Now, one of my favorite things to talk about in League is power spikes. And the reason why I bring that up is because Orianna is almost sometimes like a Kassadin, in the sense that once that Rabadon's death cap is picked up, it's like a switch is flicked. And all of a sudden, they blow people up, as 𝘀𝗋 might be getting blown up himself. 𝘀𝗀 and 𝘀𝗀𝗋 forced to run, scatter of the week, and lands onto 𝘀𝗀𝗋, followed by a headbutt pulverize, trample for some extra lockdown, and it is a double kill for 𝘀𝗋𝗋's Jace.
Yeah, just a very bad mispositioning coming in from 𝘀𝗋. I didn't quite catch what 𝘀𝗀𝗋 did. I'm not sure how he died. Obviously, I think we're going to get a replay, but this just means GAM is going to go on to the Baron, and 3v5 means that Team Flash has no hope in hell of contesting this.
Well,
they're going to try, though.
He's got a new curtain call position. Baron down to 4,000 HP. Dante When does he go over the wall? Okay, that's nice from B, just to deny Dante from going in. He'll pay for it with his life. 𝘁𝗏 actually taken down low by 𝘁𝗏, and 𝘁𝗀𝗃 picks up the kill. So for the side of Team Flash, they get 2 kills in exchange for losing the Baron, and at this point, I think they will take anything that they are given.
Yeah, that was just a bit of a... Well, it's actually an overreach coming in from GAM themselves, right? If you just stick 5-man on the Baron, it's very unlikely that Team Flash could actually get in. Maybe you invest 1 member to chase Dante away, but investing so many members towards Team Flash and, you know, going towards them when you do have a little bit of HP deficit after taking the Baron was just uncalled for, really. Let's take a look at this. It's just Pallet being blown up. I think 𝘀𝗰𝗋 gets caught out as well, yeah. Just gets headbutt pulverized and blown up as well.
It was
and at this point, there's
week that started it, actually.
Yeah, I believe so. And there's no other way to put it other than poor positioning coming in from Team Flash. They were late to the draw, and that just means they get caught out, and that means they concede the Baron over to GAM. Let's see what GAM can do with this. If Team Flash continue playing the way they do, I think GAM could walk away with a very profitable Baron buff indeed.
So much damage from 𝘁𝗏 onto 𝘁𝗏, but 𝘁𝗏
missed the shockwave here.
Did he miss the
That's
shockwave?
unfortunate.
Okay.
𝘁𝗏 actually missed the shockwave as well during that last fight.
Okay, well, 𝘁𝗏 has his shockwave back up and available now, and he is building towards that Zhonya's, so we'll take a little bit more time before we do see that Rabadon's in, but I am convinced that once that Rabadon's is completed for 𝘁𝗏, I think that's kind of the turning point for Team Flash, and that's when we can really start to see them coming back into this game.
I mean, 𝘀𝗀𝗋, you want to talk about that narrative list? You want to know what else is on that list other than 𝘀𝗰𝗋 playing Elise? 𝘁𝗏 plugging in his keyboard at 30 minutes.
Okay, I wasn't going to phrase it like that on broadcast, but okay, yes.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I've said it on broadcast. Wait, I haven't. But, you know.
You haven't.
It's a good way to, I mean, it's accurate, right? He really turns it on after 30 minutes for some reason. I think, I don't know, he just defaults to his sort of fatigue state, and for some reason his fatigue state is better than how he usually plays. So let's go, 𝘁𝗏. Let's see what you can do. And obviously he's going to drag the rest of Team Flash along with him. If it happens, obviously.
Thumbs up there as we jump on into a pause. Oh no, indeed. Aren't you glad you aren't on the production side? Yeah. So you get to enjoy these pauses.
Hi, Carrix. Welcome back. Welcome to Pauseland. Population us, apparently.
Population.
What an
VCS
unfortunate place to pause, though. I mean, like, there was absolutely a fight brewing, and
there wasn't.
Well, there's always a fight brewing.
Oh yeah, it's VCS. Well,
exactly.
Yeah, but I thought we're talking relative to VCS terms, so they're definitely.
I think so as well. Like, if you look at the positioning, GAM is positioning pretty aggressively. Yeah, so they sort of backing off a little bit, but
they just backed away from a nature.
There's going to be a fight. 𝘀𝗀𝗋, I guarantee you, we go back into the game within 20 seconds. There's gonna be a fight.
Really? Okay. What are we putting on this?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'll say 𝘀𝗀𝗋's a pretty cool dude.
What defines a fight? Is a 𝘁𝗏𝗋 spear being thrown a fight?
Yes. No. They're gonna fight.
Okay. Right. Okay, so 20 seconds. So we're saying 28-15. We're gonna see a fight.
Yeah, they're fighting the dragon right now.
They're fighting the minion. I don't know.
Man.
I think you're wrong. I'll let Twitch chat decide on that one. You know, Twitch chat can be the judge, jury, and executioner.
Sure, I don't actually know how to come out of that, but still.
No.
Anyway, ask me a question, 𝘀𝗀𝗋. I don't know how to get out of this. Dig me out.
How's your day going?
Not bad. I literally woke up and like sat down here, and I have not gotten up, so my legs are a little bit numb.
Okay.
Yeah. Looking forward to a 3-game series where Team Flash 2-1 GAM. That's gonna be fun. Yep. Script's written already.
Remember what I said yesterday? And you, Carrix, and everyone was like laughing at me, like, ha ha ha, you think Team Flash are a good team, all of that.
I'm still gonna laugh at you about that, by the way.
Oh yeah. I mean, I still laugh at myself as well, to be honest. But
okay.
I mean, in fairness, they are 6k gold down, so they are behind. But as I said, I'm waiting for the 𝘁𝗏 magic switch. I am on the 𝘀𝗀𝗋 hype train, and I'm on the 𝘁𝗏 hype train. I'm ready for the 𝘁𝗏, you know, going to be the best mid laner in all of the VCS.
After 30 minutes, yeah.
Yeah. No, but like, at the end of the split, we'll be talking about how 𝘁𝗏 has been like MVP of the split. And then we'll go back. We'll go back and we'll just show the clip of where he messed up the Vexed Flash W.
Oh, don't remind me. Why would you bring that up now?
Because
Not like this.
it's setting the scene. It's showing how the
Okay.
anime character coming back from, you know, the traumatic experiences. It's like 𝘀𝗀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀.
I tell you what, you can ghostwrite his autobiography. How about that?
I can't write his autobiography because then it would be an autobiography. I
Okay,
could write his biography.
You know what I mean. My English is not good.
Yeah.
As we see
Okay,
a scuffle in bot.
We do see a scuffle in bot. Will the scuffle turn into the fight? I think it will. Harvey's here. Yoshino steals the kill. Harvey needs the goal. He needs that Rabadons. I'm upset with Yoshino.
You know what timestamp that fight started at? 30
Was
minutes,
it within
baby. Let's
15
go.
seconds?
It's starting.
Yep.
We are going.
We are
But
going.
it does feel like there's a bit of a reset coming in from the side of Team Flash, right? When they had success earlier on in the game is when they were able to pile multiple members onto stray GAM members when they weren't expecting themselves to be dove. And that's exactly what we saw happen there. And that tower is still alive. I choose not to regard it. And let's take a look at this again, right? It's just 𝘀𝗰𝗋 pushing up a little too far, not really expecting anyone else to be here. Gets dove onto Yoshino, gets dove on by Yoshino rather. And Harvey just shows up at 30-minute mark.
We got a fight.
My keyboard's plugged in, and the fight's over.
Yeah, Yoshino's dead. Okay, sorry to interrupt you, Spoots, but I thought we should talk about Yoshino overextending and dying.
Ah, deja vu. Where have I heard that before? Oh, right, the play before, except was the other team. Oh, man. Can Team Flash players just stop overextending, please? Like, I know 𝘁𝗀, that's like his thing. Whenever someone overextends in lane, I'm just gonna call it the 𝘁𝗀 from now on.
I mean, just blame support for not warding properly, right?
Oh, I don't want to get on the back of that meme because 𝘀𝗀 has actually saved 𝘁𝗀's life so many times this game, and it would be unfair if I were to meme his efforts.
True. That is fair.
Yeah.
Also, actually, just realized now, Imperial Mandate picked up from 𝘀𝗀. We're not seeing any of those tanky items. I guess Imperial Mandate offers a bit of tankiness, but not like Giga Chad levels of tankiness, as the curtains are called on 𝘀𝗰𝗋, who will flash out of the range and will survive. But Team Flash, they're still searching. They're looking for those picks. A 4.5k goal lead for the side of GAM right now, but that's not a huge lead at 32 minutes into the game.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to go back to your point about Imperial Mandate, I think it gives a little bit more damage coming in from the side of Team Flash. They don't really need a secondary tank at the moment. Sure, 𝘀𝗀's a little tanky, but overall it's going to be Raid Boss Yoshino. Never mind, 𝘀𝗀's going in.
Okay, there's about 3 different fights going on. Levi going on to 𝘀𝗀, going to be able to find the kill, but Dante taken down low. Dante will fall. Yoshino trying to go on to 𝘀𝗰𝗋 on the bottom side of your screen. And Team Flash get diddly squat. GAM pick up 2 kills. 𝘁𝗀𝗋 died somewhere. And there's a Baron up.
Team Flash, gentlemen, this is supposed to be your time to shine. You're not meant to look for these sorts of fights. You're supposed to group up as 5 and look for scattered GAM members. That's how you win if you're on the side of Team Flash. Sure, your composition looks like a team fight, but you don't team fight because of the skill disparity between your players. You should acknowledge that. And right now, we are seeing GAM just sort of start running away with this game. They pick up the Baron. They're looking very strong. And overall, it's very difficult for Team Flash to find their way back into it because, let's face it, they're sort of throwing their lead. They've already thrown their lead away.
Okay, so, Spoots, you know how in the previous series you gave, like, ways in which the game was going to end?
Sure.
I'm going to give mine. GAM winning a fight. Harvey ult comes up off cooldown, or he saves it until late in the fight. Big ult, him and Yoshino turn the fight as a 2v5. 𝘁𝗀 dies. Okay, maybe that's not going to happen right now, but I believe at some point that may happen. This will be the Mountain Soul going the way of a GAM. That'll be a nice little shield on all 5 members of the GAM roster.
I don't even think that's gonna, like, let's put it this way, right? Harvey doesn't have the death cap. If you want to go by the logic of your, he is close, I'll give you that, but he doesn't have it just yet. So we are gonna be waiting on this game to go another 1 or 2 minutes before he actually gets that item. But the question is whether or not it will last that long, because GAM is pretty tanky. GAM has a lot of damage. They're just gonna run it down at the moment, and Team Flash, they have to find some sort of answer. They don't have the damage, they don't have the tankiness. I think they just lose the game.
They might very well lose the game. 5 members of GAM pushing forward as... look at Dante. He's trying to find the mother of all flanks, but that's one Nexus tower already down for Team Flash. 𝘁𝗀 joining in to the fray. Still a 4v5 for now. As Dante slowly making his way in, the curtain call comes through. It's a two-man scatter of the week. 𝘁𝗵's taken down, and that is it for Team of 𝘀𝗀. Unleash the power will burn the GA for J3. Yoshino shows up, but the Nexus is down. The Nexus is out. GAM take game 1.
GAM do take game 1. No Rabadon's nonsense here for Team 𝘀𝗀, but yes, we should celebrate how GAM played in that late game. It was a few throws coming in from Team 𝘀𝗀, but GAM played very solid League of Legends as well. However, I think one of the things that we can commend on the side of Team 𝘀𝗀, and we absolutely do have to commend Team 𝘀𝗀, right, is that they have been stepping up across the board, especially towards the mid game. If they're able to round out their early game and a little bit more towards their late game, sort of shore up their weaknesses and not throw as much, sort of have a little bit more of a cohesive idea on how they want to play as a team, I think this Team 𝘀𝗀 could actually look to have a stronger performance going into game 2.
Okay, and with that, we're going to be jumping on into a short break. When we return, we will be getting Tim's thoughts on the game and jumping into game 2 of the series. This is the VCS English. Stay tuned. Howdy ho, folks, and welcome back to game 2 of day 1 of week 2 of the VCS Winter Split. GAM taking on 𝘀𝗀, and GAM picking up a game 1 over 𝘀𝗀 and on the verge of picking up a 2-0. Tim, I'll jump straight to you. That series, GAM got such a phenomenal early lead, but 𝘀𝗀 almost brought it back.
After the first few minutes, I thought this is going to be a 20-minute stomp. I mean, the team comp that GAM has is very snowball heavy. If they snowball, they should, have a clean game. But they did GAM things. They threw in the mid game. TF played really well. They had some very good catches, especially around like the longer range spells, and Nidalee was hitting spears. Suddenly 𝘁𝗀 was hitting ultimate shots, so that really helped them out. But in the late game, the team fights just didn't look coordinated at all. Yoshino was basically getting one-shotted left, right, and center. He was just griefing every fight, and they couldn't really fight as a unit at all.
So are we back to blaming the Renekton here, Tim?
I mean, blaming the Renekton sounds so harsh. I'm not sure if it was the champion. I think it was a mix of the champion and the player at this point.
𝘀𝗀, I want to go to you because we spoke about how GAM had that huge lead, but 𝘀𝗀 able to bring it back, but not enough. Do you think 𝘀𝗀 were ever at a point where they were effectively ahead in the game state?
Yes, I think there was a point in the game where even though the gold was even, 𝘀𝗀 had a significant tempo advantage where they were able to do well. They would be able to be the first to any play. Where at the start of the game, well, towards the start rather, they were acting proactive, but they were acting proactive from behind. I feel like there was a portion in that game where they had opportunities to be the proactive ones and actually be the first ones to the play. Unfortunately, that didn't really pan out the way that it should have, and GAM were able to find their way back into the game. So that's how they came back. Unfortunately.
Okay. And with that, we're going to be going back on in to the draft. Game 2, and that 𝘀𝗀 taken away from 𝘁𝗀. That had to be a must-ban champion, right, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, he was just smurfing on the champion. I think he was the big difference maker. And when we talked about who we would think was the MVP for this game, there was no question for all of us. Okay, it was 𝘁𝗀. 𝘁𝗀 also played well. And then the third one was a big question mark for the most of us. And we had different choices there. But I think that was an issue. And also the Xayah being taken out, not dealing with that lethality Xayah from Style again.
Yeah, taking away the Xayah, it looks like relatively normal bans coming from both sides. I do agree that well, I'm not entirely sure if banning 𝘀𝗀 is, going to do all that much against 𝘁𝗀. I mean, the guy is 𝘁𝗀. You can give him Lee Sin, you can give whatever, and he's probably still gonna pop off. So I would focus less on trying to shut him down in champ select and trying to shut him down in the early game, because I think that's a little bit more feasible for you to do. Throw to ban something else more important, maybe the Syndra, sort of pinch 𝘁𝗀's champion pool a little bit, force him back onto that Galio, which he has been underperforming on. But I think 𝘀𝗀 could actually be aiming to give themselves the Syndra. 𝘁𝗀 has had pretty good performances. That's basically the one champion that we keep pointing to that 𝘁𝗀 has been consistently decent to good on.
Yeah, and it's really interesting here that they're choosing the Ryze. They're not going for the Syndra once again. but going for the rise on the side of GAM. And I agree with you. I think you have to attack 𝘁𝗀 in the game, and I think the best way to actually do that is attack 𝘁𝗀. Make sure that his mid laner cannot help out in the jungle, and make sure that you're always 2v1ing 𝘁𝗀, and then he is not able to do anything, and that's the way GAM has lost most of their games. And could be shut down. So I think that is something they're looking towards. But already they have two strong champions in Rise and 𝘁𝗀fortune, and we could be going back to the Jhin 𝘁𝗁fortune meta from before.
Going a 𝘁𝗀's 𝘁𝗁fortune, possibly. I want to zoom in a little bit on the Rise coming in, and we are going to see the Syndra on the opposite side. Rise is, I believe, 𝘁𝗀's second favorite champion behind the Galio, and he's always sort of like the unsung hero for his team when he picks up this champion, right? He's he does a lot of damage, but he's just super not flashy. So even though he is a very big win condition for his team when he goes to this champion, it may not be readily identifiable for the likes of Team Flash, so they might not attack it all that much. They lock in the safe pick for 𝘁𝗀, which is this Syndra, and yeah, sure, I don't disagree with that. I think if 𝘁𝗀's able to have a decent performance on Syndra, slightly better than the Orianna, this is one way that Team Flash could perhaps snowball their tempo lead into an actual goal lead this game.
Yep, and I want to see a ban from GAM here. I want to see a Thresh ban, because you have an immobile Syndra, you have an immobile 𝘁𝗀s against a 𝘁𝗀, who are very attackable with 𝘁𝗀 with 𝘁𝗁fortune. If they don't have the Thresh Lantern, I think taking that away would be very strong. Of course, 𝘁𝗀s usually also very strong laning phase with the Thresh together, so they could make some trouble there, and I think that should be or can be a ban for GAM.
And I want to jump in as well, because you talk about the Thresh to pair with the 𝘁𝗀s, and there's a few other champions as well, like the 𝘁𝗀. How strong would the 𝘁𝗀 be here to protect the 𝘁𝗀s, and also as a counter to this bullet time?
Can I just jump in here and just like say something completely unrelated? GAM banned 2 junglers, 𝘂𝗀 doesn't play Graves.
Well, I mean, you could have banned Braum and Thresh there. I'm just saying, like, that could have been. I mean, Syndra top was played, so maybe the Syndra's going top, the Graves going mid, and we're just getting crazy here. We're just putting Renekton in the jungle. I don't know. So 𝘁𝗀s is being locked in together with the 𝘁𝗁fortune, more engaged, and they're just able to go in with a good lockdown. And as I said, I think Braum or Thresh, they're both fine. I think Thresh gives you that extra mobility, but Braum, of course, gives you the shield against the 𝘁𝗁fortune. So I think both is possible here. I think the 𝘁𝗀 is the worst of the 3, honestly.
Yep. Completely agree. Would have words are difficult. They actually go for the 𝘁𝗀. Okay, cool. I was gonna say I like the Braum a lot more, but fair enough. 𝘁𝗁 rather is a decent support when he's able to roam. I think we saw one decent performance out of him on the side of, or rather on the pick of 𝘁𝗀. But yeah, I'm not sure why they went for the junglers when 𝘂𝗀, I think, has 1 game on record ever of playing Graves top. He's probably going to go for the Irelia, and this is what I said last game during Champ Select, remember. I want to see 𝘂𝗀 on the likes of Irelia. He had some really pop-off performances in the last time he played Irelia. He got some solo kills. It was a really good, what am I saying? A great joy to see, let's put it that way. So I'm really excited to see this Team Flash composition.
And I would really like to say it gives you, the Jax, I mean, they're going more 1v1 style, and I think what GAM has actually drafted themselves, yes, they can teamfight, and yes, they have a very strong teamfight, but I think they want to go into side lanes. Ryze is an insane side laner, same for Jax, of course, and they will eventually win both side lanes. So I think that is, of course, something we have to be aware of. And on the other side, you have with 𝘁𝗀 𝘁𝗀s always the possibility to win any teamfight just because of the massive damage output that 𝘁𝗀s can put out.
And to jump in again, with regards to scaling, you look over to the side of GAM, you've got the Ryze and Jax who are going to be monsters in the late game, but what about for Flash? Because you've got this 𝘁𝗀s 𝘁𝗀 composition. Is there a team that just hands down wins late game, or does it come down to execution?
I think it comes down to execution myself. If you recall the last time we saw 𝘁𝗀s, which was earlier today, that team composition wasn't really that good for him. Obviously, this is going to be much better. We are going to be seeing more tools to sort of peel for 𝘁𝗀, right? And not as many awesome dudes jumping onto him and instantly killing him. So I think Team Flash may be a little bit easier. GAM could also play a late game. I want to get Tim's thoughts before we send him off.
I think both team comps scale very well, and I think they win late game in different ways. I think if it comes to late game, GAM wants the side lane, and on the other hand, a Team Flash, they want to go into team fights and they want to enable 𝘀𝗺𝗺 to get good stuns, long range, take one person out, and 𝘁𝗀𝗃 on the other hand just carry the rest of the fight. And I think that's the style both team comps will have in the late game.
Perfect. So we've got both. Oh wait, actually, Spoots, have we got your thoughts on both drafts yet?
I gave you my thoughts on flashes. I think, well, I agree with Tim's thoughts on GAM as we are hopping onto Rift, and my eyes are instantly taken away from their composition before I could finish my train of thought. But, like I said, 𝘁𝗀𝗆 is a really solid Ryze player. I would focus on him, see what he ends up doing. Maybe we get 400 CS Ryze hack, and he just takes it over, but in his very subtle way, which is my favorite part about this, because it's so, difficult to identify if you're just watching and not really paying attention to the numbers.
I do really like the draft from both teams because I think how they want to play in the late game is very clear, and I think there isn't a huge draft diff, which I think myself and the viewers can kind of tell from how yourself and Tim gave your points on this draft. One thing I do want to add, because I can't have anyone dissing on my boy 𝘀𝗺𝗆. Syndra is not his only consistent champion. It's just when he plays Vex, he's terrible. Like all of his other champions have been.
Wait. Can I get this right? So you're saying Syndra's not 𝘀𝗺𝗆's only consistent champion because he's consistently bad on Vex. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, effectively.
Okay.
Yeah. If you look at his Syndra, his LeBlanc, which are the only two other champions he's played, he's had his CS lead at 15 in all of the games. I don't know about the Orianna game against 𝘁𝗆, but I think he had a decent Orianna into a Syndra, considering that is it's not a hard losing matchup, but it's a matchup where you don't have priority, let's say.
Yep, he should have a little bit more priority now that he is on the Syndra against the Ryze. Obviously, will be spiking a little bit earlier, even though 𝘁𝗆 should spike later.
Dante's here straight away. This is the early gang. This is Team Flash trying to get ahead, but they just don't have the damage. 𝘀𝗺𝗆 gets the scatter of the week at the very end. I think he was a little bit late to land that one, but that could have been a very early kill.
Yep, could have been better coordination for sure. Dante should have just delayed that for a few more seconds. I'm not sure what the communication was there. 𝘀𝗆𝗆 should have just said, I don't have my E. I don't have my E. Please give me a few seconds so that I can actually stun this guy. But that obviously didn't happen. And 𝘁𝗆 literally just walks away.
Okay, Levi looked. Oh, that's a beautiful scatter of the week from 𝘀𝗆𝗆 to deny the flag and drag. But Levi is in the lane, and 𝘀𝗆𝗆 just playing 1v2 right now as Dante was able to clear out the Raptors. And now, I think Dante wants to give a little waiting presence to Levi. But here's the thing, Dante is a level down.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Dante wins that. But we are not going to see it. He's actually just going to go to Crux, while Levi, I think, is taking his red buff here. And what a quintessential Levi champion, right? Picking up the Jarvan will be a great facilitator for the rest of his team. Once again, we saw him work wonders on the Qiyana. They tried to ban away his Qiyana. I think Jarvan is not only as good as Qiyana, I think Jarvan is better for Levi than the Qiyana. So my eyes are going to be drawn to, well, this bot lane, there's a fight.
Yeah, 𝘁𝗀𝗃 low! 𝘁𝗀𝗃 gets first blood by the skin of his teeth onto 𝘁𝗆𝗃. I don't know why 𝘁𝗃𝗃 and B are playing so scared of 𝘁𝗃𝗃. He doesn't have any mana. Meanwhile, on the top side of the map, the counter-strike will time down. 𝘁𝗄𝗃 will jump out to safety. That was so clutch from 𝘁𝗃.
Yeah, 𝘁𝗃, I can't even give him all that many props. Like, he played really well. Yeah. Great, and then he got the lucky first blood. The misfortune died first. Unfortunately, trades over the kill as well. Excuse me. As now Levi might be in a great position to catch out 𝘀𝗀𝗆.
The Levi will land the flag and drag, will get the initial burst of damage, but now 𝘀𝗀𝗆 can look to turn things around. He's forced to go back towards the bot lane, back towards the Lulu, and all the while 𝘁𝗀 is forced to play solo lane right now. Hex flash over the wall from B. Does he look to go in? No, he does not. Now we've got a rather odd lane assignment for Team Flashes. Here's a replay of the bottom lane play.
Yep, it's going to be a teleport that comes in from the side of 𝘁𝗆. Oh, nice flash pulverize coming in from B to knock up 𝘁𝗀, and yeah, misfortune just dies first, I guess. They trade 1-for-1, and Pallet, I think, will get out alive. Not much to see there. Very proactive play. This time coming in from the side of GAM, whereas we saw Team Flash looking for these sorts of plays earlier on in the first game.
Well, a slight lead for the side of Team Flash, and I want to talk a little bit more about Levi, because I think
Okay.
first week was, I don't know if it was lackluster for him, but yourself, myself, and a few other members from the VCS English crew, we were having this discussion over who is the best jungler in the league based off week 1. And, well, 𝘁𝗀𝗀 didn't even come into the discussion. We were talking about 𝘁𝗀𝗀, we were talking about Penguin, we were talking about 𝘁𝗀𝗀. So I'm really glad 𝘁𝗀𝗀 has had this performance because he's showing that it was just a 1-week blip.
I think, what we, specifically that discussion we were talking about, we obviously qualified it with who's the best jungler out of week 1. And
Yes,
obviously,
yeah.
GAM was extremely rusty during week 1. I think nobody sort of disputes that the ceiling is the highest when it comes to either 𝘁𝗀𝗀 or 𝘁𝗀𝗀. It's just a matter of when they will reach that ceiling. Because let's face it, both of these players are kind of rusty. In fact, they might be looking for something top, but that's a Lulu, not the best ganker in the world.
That's a slow coming through. Counter-Strike will prevent any further engage from 𝘂𝗀𝗀. And 𝘁𝗀𝗀 just roaming around. He thinks he's a bit of an Alistair himself. He wants to have a chunk of the pie in the top lane.
Yeah, but let's focus in back towards the bot lane. Thank you, observers, as 𝘁𝗀𝗀 is positioning very threateningly. And this is 𝘁𝗀𝗀. He is 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀.
No
But we
summoners
do have Graves
either.
yep, there we go.
The slow comes through, flag and drag in. Dante's here. He's going to be able to get the smoke screen down, but not able to do more than that. And 𝘁𝗀𝗀 being caught and 𝘁𝗀𝗀 dying.
Yeah, okay, that wasn't really an overextension. That was just a really good play coming in from 𝘁𝗀𝗀. Very clean to recognize that both supports are towards the top side. Didn't really know where Graves is, but at this point, Graves doesn't really threaten this Jarvan. Just goes in, very nice flag and drag to lock up. 𝘁𝗀𝗀 just takes the kill away. And how unfortunate is it to be Dante in this game? You try to gank mid, fails to get the kill. You try to gank top, fail to get the kill. Goes bot to answer, fail to get a kill. And now we're going towards him himself.
Flag and drag, they're going to get the lock on to 𝘁𝗀𝗀. The realm warp in from 𝘁𝗀𝗀 will mean B picks up the kill, but now 𝘁𝗀𝗀 taken down low. Scatter of the week. B locked down. Collateral damage. Connects it on to 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀, but nowhere near enough damage to pick up the kill. And Team Flash get 2 kills for 1.
And it's a throw and a catch, and we're not done.
Okay, 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀, this might be a little bit too aggressive. Style joining into the fray. That's a big exhaust. 𝘁𝗀𝗀 surely going to die. Scatter of the week. Blast Cone will take 𝘁𝗀𝗀 out to safety. And again, it's 𝘁𝗀𝗀 making the misplay. 𝘁𝗀𝗀 getting a bit aggressive and giving GAM 1 kill back. Now, Dante is playing aggressive because he wanted to give the blue buff over to 𝘁𝗀𝗀. Dante will be able to quick draw over the wall. The smite from 𝘁𝗀𝗀 secures the blue buff.
Really enjoying this Saturday night out on the park where everybody just goes to the park and plays catch with their son or something. Because first we saw GAM try to throw the game to Team Flash in Team Flash's jungle. Then we saw that sort of flip over and Team Flash was trying to throw the game back. But anyway, let's take a look at how this happens. I want to call this a bit of an overreach. You don't need to go for this play, GAM. Like, you just straight up don't. They get 1 kill, yeah, but they're gonna get routed here as 𝘁𝗀𝗀 sort of I don't know how to say it, hits them off at the pass, let's say. As we don't get the end of the replay as there's a skirmish here.
Oh, it's a nice flawless duet. 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀 will leap on out towards 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀, and 𝘂𝗀𝗀𝗀 will back away. Ultimates burned by both top laners. Still flashes available for the pair of them as the Rift Herald has been started by the side of GAM. And this is actually, I think, the first time we're seeing GAM prioritizing the first Rift Herald.
Yes, they aren't going to go for the dragon. They already got the dragon, okay, so they are going to get Herald. And where do they put it? I think I would... Yeah, I think I just put it mid.
𝘂𝗀𝗀𝗀.
They might just go straight top. 𝘂𝗂𝗀𝗀𝗀 pulling the 𝘁𝗀𝗀.
He's going to have to execute. I think he's going for that. He's just going to run for the tower. Oh, he got it in time.
Pixel
and he burns
perfect.
𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀's ultimate. That's what you want to see if you're a Team Flash fan.
Not really, no. That's not what you want to see.
Okay, I was specifically talking about 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀 burning his ultimate and not getting a kill.
What is this replay?
This is a Okay, so 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀
this was
got a
before.
kill.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, so this is part of it. Okay,
That's
so
why
this
he's
is
there.
definitely worth for 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀. I thought 𝘂𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 just outplayed 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 and took him down to like a 3rd HP.
Yeah, Dante is just having a bit of a tragic game at this point. Graves
Yeah.
jungle. Haha, please don't pick it. It's almost as bad as 𝘂𝗀𝗀. I think that's fair enough to say, right?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Could have seen a Xin Zhao. It worked so well for Burst the Sky. Could have seen
Could have seen
anyone.
an Elise.
At least, yes. No, that's game 3.
Yes. Oh, that's game 3? Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Right now, it is going to be GAM with a bit of a commanding, I don't want to say commanding position because their goal isn't exactly, where they would want it to be just yet, but they are looking very strong right now. I think if they take a fight on even footing, they should just eke it out on top. Just because they should have tempo advantage at any fight that should happen should be on their terms. 𝘁𝗍, this might be
Oh,
a
no.
bit of a sketchy back. I'm not sure if Dante sees him. He does now.
I don't even know how this one goes. I feel like it's just been unfortunate, but this time Dante will get a kill. 𝘁𝗍 greeting with his back positioning. And I was actually about to start talking about how well 𝘁𝗍 has been playing. And the fact that he's playing Rise into the Syndra matchup, he's doing well in the matchup, he's been able to match, if not beat, 𝘁𝗍's rotations. But with that, it's kind of all gone down the drain.
I wouldn't say it's all gone down
Okay,
the drain,
some
right?
of it.
So you give one kill over to the Graves. Graves 1, 1, and 2 is still not as strong.
Okay. 𝘁𝗔's just doing things. Now they're looking for B. There's a teleport coming in. That will be 𝘁𝗍. B's getting taken down low. The lockdown with the Gravitum. And Dante will pick up another kill. To be honest, I think he should have given that one over to 𝘁𝗔. But a kill is a kill. Meanwhile, 𝘁𝗍 roaming to the top side of the map. It's Team Flash everywhere. Unleash the power. The Counter-Strike will do some work. The leap strike followed by the flash takes 𝘁𝗍 out to safety. Now it's a three-man dive on 𝘁𝗍. He wishes he didn't teleport in. Who does a kill go over to? Okay, it's Pilot. So they each get one kill. It's musical chairs happening for Team Flash in the bottom lane.
Oh man, deja vu. I've been in this place before. Remember last game where we were around this period of the game and GAM just started falling off for no reason, even though they were more or less ahead? Let's take a look at how this happened. It's just going to be them running down style. Nice Lulu ultimate. B doesn't really do anything at this point. And now Dante, after his ventures in the mid lane, will just run in and steal a kill from his ADC.
He didn't even do anything.
He pressed E and he auto-attacked. I mean, that's what Graves does, right?
That's dirty, but Yoshino's getting dived on. Dante's here as well. It's a 4v2. Dante just looking to run down style, and I think he's going to do it. Yoshino's going to pick up the kill. Yoshino's still alive! Yoshino does not die! 𝘁𝗍 will fall, unleashed power, and Team Flash get 4 kills for nothing!
Oh my word, how did we get into this position? We were in the middle of a replay for that setup, but oh man, that's a dominant fight coming in from the side of Team Flash. Like you pointed out, Yoshino doesn't even die.
Are you sure this wasn't the dream you had?
Maybe. Maybe Aurelia's actually 𝘀𝗍 in disguise. Who knows?
Well, I'm sure we can figure something out regarding that. However, Team Flash in the driving.
We get a replay, I'm sure.
3,000 gold ahead. I don't know if we do, because we've got a little bit of a skirmish happening right now, and we might have to buffer up a couple of replays in one go. We've got a Drake in 10 seconds' time. 𝘁𝗍 wants to be able to steal that blue buff. He wants to be able to pick it up, and he wants to be able to throw it somewhere, drop a ball on it, steal it away, but he's not going to actually have the damage to do that. No, it resets.
What
and
is
now
this?
the round warp comes through. Flag and drag misses. B goes in. Dante flashing over the wall. He needs to be able to smite. Needs to be able to gain HP. Over the wall he goes. 𝘁𝗍's going to be able to pick up the kill. Now 𝘁𝗍's here. 𝘁𝗔 here as well. The ultimate not going to be able to land. GAM taken down low, but now Style and B just on 𝘁𝗔, styling all over them, and GAM turn it around. Team Flash throw their advantage just to be able to try to steal a blue buff.
This bottom side of the map is cursed. Flash, why are you there? First, we saw GAM throw the game over to Team Flash. That is why we are in this position in the first place. Why Team Flash is so strong, because they got a few kills in their bottom side of the jungle. This time, we are seeing the exact opposite. Flash, why are you so deep? Why are you not disengaging? Is the blue buff really so damn important? We actually get the replay here. And keep your eyes on Style. Why is Style there? Why is everybody leaving their AD carry alone to be murdered by the Graves? You have no damage after Style dies, and it's just going to be Team Flash picking up the win in this win.
So the answer to that is 𝘁𝗍 leap striked in, Levi flag and dragged in, B headbutt pulverized in, and Style was like, guys, I don't have a gap closer, I can't follow you.
Yes, Mr. Play-by-Play, there is exactly what happened. My question is why? Why would you do that to yourself?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't think anyone knows at this point.
It's game 3, the Yoshino release. That's what this is all about.
Oh god. Oh god. I regret putting that in the narratives thing now.
Okay.
I feel like that was your
I won't bring it up again unless 𝘀𝗍 gets locked in. I promise.
please.
Okay, Rift Herald has been started up by the side of Team
Yes.
Flash. We might be getting another fight beginning to break out. The gold is practically even for all purposes, but who can get the engage? Take a look at Yoshino. He's ready to go in with the Vanguard's edge. 𝘁𝗵𝗶 on the flank as well. Headbutt pulverize, and the scatter the weak does not land. It's a steal from Levi on the Rift Herald. Levi, Flag and Dragon will be able to pick it up. Dante taken down low. Yoshino will fall. 𝘁𝗵𝗶 on the wrong side of the fight is not here. Dante locked down. Flag and Drag will be able to secure the kill. Levi on a sliver of HP, but survives, and it is another fight going the way of GAM. Picking up 3 kills for nothing, and the hope is starting to dwindle from the Team Flash fans.
Yep, that was more like it from the side of GAM. What we expect them to do really when they go into team fights. Team Flash really work best when they're a coherent unit, when they identify the most important target and they all collapse on that target. That target in that fight was Style. The only person jumping onto Style was Yoshino on this Irelia. Sure, he bought a lot of time for Team Flash to do a lot of work, but unfortunately, he dies, and Style just gets completely free range of auto-attacking the rest of Team Flash. On top of the fact that the rest of GAM have also, gotten a lot more damage than the last time they fought, which just meant that Team Flash get routed, and it was just, a bit of a unsynced play coming through. Let's look at this again, right? Keep your eyes on Style. He's the main damage dealer at this point. We see the engage from B, and Levi follows up. Style's actually a little vulnerable right now, right? He's forced to run away, but 𝘁𝗏 with the teleport in buys a lot of space, and now Style auto-attacking 𝘁𝗵𝗶, and the rest of the team is just doing a lot of work on Team Flash. Now Style finally joins the main bulk of this flight, and this is when GAM gets this major victory. Now, let's take a look at the goal. It's firmly back towards GAM's pockets.
Yoshino trying to outplay this. That's a Flag and Drag. Will be able to find a knockup. 𝘁𝗏 trying to get in range of the W. Cataclysm locks down Yoshino, who now turns towards 𝘁𝗏. Does he have the damage? Okay, that's a fair amount of damage, but 𝘁𝗏 flashing into the brush, out of vision. Levi picks up the kill.
Taken longer than expected, but hey, 2v1, that's how it's gonna go. Yoshino just in a unfortunate position that 𝘁𝗏𝗀 would have killed him anyway. We're getting an engaged bot.
Yeah, engaged pot. Pallet will burn the ultimate. Dante joining into the phrase. Red and white gun for 𝘀𝗀. That means he will fight the counter-strike. 𝘀𝗀 can't get back in range, and instead he's forced to turn his attention towards B. Picks up the kill, and it will be the bot lane outer tower falling as well. Meanwhile, Rift Herald dropped by Levi in the mid lane. That's a mid-tier or mid-inner tower falling, and it might even be an inhibitor tower falling before 18
to get
minutes
the charge,
of the game.
Yep, this is GAM in a very comfortable position. You take this trade every single day. You take down the second mid lane turret, and this just allows you to have so much more control over the map. Let's take a look at this once again. I'm not entirely sure what we're supposed to be taking away from this. It's a 2v1. Yoshino tries his damnedest, and he does a lot of damage onto Levi at the start, but unfortunately 𝘁𝗏 shows up. He was there the entire time, but still, they get the kill, and now in the bot lane, this is just 𝘀𝗀 doing 𝘀𝗏𝗄𝗋's things when they have red and white gun. Pew pew pew, pew pew pew. I'm just doing sound effects at this point.
I feel like
yeah, they just get run down.
𝘀𝗏𝗄𝗋's gun sounds don't make pew 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 sound. It's something else.
Shing shing shing.
Yes, I think that's a better one, especially when you've got crescendo up.
Fair.
Pew 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 is more like jinx. I feel. But enough about what sounds guns make. We'll have to ask, I don't know, Riot lawmakers? I don't know. It's a decent scatter of the week on 2 Style, but no one, sadly, to follow up for Team Flash. So Style just gives a thumbs up, recognizing the efforts from 𝘁𝗵𝗶.
Yep, and GAM goes on the soul point here as well. They're going to pick up the Cloud Dragon. At this stage, I think it could actually be worth to just pick up the entire soul, right? I mean, what are the chances that Team Flash will get it, right? Wink wink, not not.
I think you mean Elder, not Soul, right?
Yeah, Elder. I mean, like, GAM gets Soul, which forces Elder to spawn, and then they sort of flip it, and then Flash get the Soul, and then they win the game, and
Can I just say, I'm loving day 1 of week 2 so far.
Yeah, I'm having a blast, dude.
We've got to see BTS being poggers, a 2-1 series. We're getting to see Team Flash trying to go toe-to-toe with GAM. I wouldn't say successfully, but close to being successful. We're seeing GAM starting to show a little bit more of why they won Spring Split. And maybe if they can keep up that form, who knows what they can do over the remainder of the Winter Split.
Yeah, they're gonna get this. Well, most likely they're gonna get the 2-0. I think they would just straight up win the series, even if this game goes to the side of Team Flash just by sheer performances alone. I think if you have one thing to sort of worry about, it's sort of gonna be GAM not improving fast enough. If it's Rust, I think it shouldn't take this long for them to shake it off. Obviously, it is taking them this long to shake it off, which is not really ideal. Picking up the 2-0 against Team Flash definitely going to do wonders for them. It's frankly great for them that their scheduling is Team Flash today, but we are going to get a fight in top.
Okay, teleports coming through. The lights from downtown. Dante could flash over the wall to stop the engage from B. Locked under tower is 𝘀cie. Will be able to leap to 𝘁𝗍. Realm Warp, no scatter of the week to be able to cancel it out. And GAM are out to safety. Oh, Palette, Palette, poor Palette. He gets locked down. 𝘁𝗧 in the Cataclysm, but now the potential turnaround. Unleash power, 𝘁𝗍 untouched, or 𝘁𝗍 alive. Style untouched as he drops down the bullet time. Everyone still alive somehow. How, I don't quite know, but a lot of ultimates were used in the fight. And I don't know if GAM can go towards Baron. They are there.
They're going to try.
For Team Flash, they're just too low. Yoshino has a teleport available, and B is just on scouting duty.
Oof, I don't know if on Team Flash you go for this. I think you just try to run it down into the mid-tier 1 turret, try to open up the map for yourselves a little bit more. And I think that's exactly what they're going to do. B was looking like he was feeling himself, but just backs away instead. Team Flash, they successfully get the first tower. Let's not greet, boys. Let's just back it away.
And don't forget as well, that mid lane inhibitor tower for Team Flash is down to, well, a couple of Misfortune auto attacks, right? Yep. So they can push with this Baron, and they can pretty much secure that inhibitor tower, and the inhibitor will fall pretty soon after. And that gives GAM a really good way to ending this game. We're only 22 minutes into the game as well. 𝘁𝗧, scatter of the week. It's all on this, and nice Star will flash it.
Yeah, sort of forcing the flash coming from the AD carry. Now it's going to be a immobile Misfortune going into the next fight. Definitely exploitable. 𝘁𝗏 getting caught out.
Smoke screen, Everfrost locked down, flag and drag over the wall. Pop goes Dante, Cataclysm onto 𝘁𝗀xe. He's got no appeal. Palette showing up at the end. Red and white guns. Does he have the healing? Baron empowered with autos. And 𝘁𝗍 will take the kill.
He does indeed, and we are now seeing the assault of GAM onto Team Flash's base. Very difficult for them to really do anything about it. I think this is just about all she wrote. Baron empowered minions for at least another minute and 40 seconds. I don't think Team Flash can hold this line.
And 𝘀cie prepping the wave in the bottom lane. Baron empowered minions now crashing into the bot lane inhibitor tower. 𝘁𝗀xe back up, so is Palette, so is Dante. And we've got a 5v5 scenario. Do Team Flash want to take this? I don't think they do. I think they need to wait out this Baron. And now just absorb all of the Baron-empowered minions. Or not Baron-empowered minions. The super minions that will be crashing in their base. And try to narrow down this gold deficit that is currently sitting at 7,000.
Yeah, that would be, well, that would be the only thing that Team Flash really can do, right? If they look for a fight right now, they just lose it every single time. It's, yeah, it's just very difficult for Team Flash to really do anything. Dante's got sort of the right idea, right? Making sure that they aren't going to lose 3 inhibitors and sort of auto-lose the game based off of that. He's going towards the top side, pushing up the wave. I like this. It's a decent play. More or less the only thing they can do other than sit in base and CS. But let's take a look at this replay. They think they catch 𝘁𝗏 out, but 𝘁𝗍 with a really good positioning. Look at the damage he has on this Jarvan, man. Just goes in disgusting damage onto the Graves, and then onto 𝘁𝗀xe, actually gets finished off by the minions. And now with 2 members down, it's just going to be free for GAM to push in earlier. Well, this is back to life, so it's still going to be free for them to push, don't get me wrong, but I think now the focus is the top lane. They want to get all 3 inhibitors, dotting the I's, crossing the T's, slowly walking towards their victory, even though the Baron is going to run out.
Baron will be running out soon, and right now 𝘁𝗏 is on Drake taking duties, soul securing duties, and he's got teleport as well available if he does want to join in to the fray, or he could possibly just go bot lane and push the bot lane in. And right now Team Flash being essentially just stuck in their own base. They can't step out, and it means that for GAM, they're just able to take as many of the jungle camps as they want and just deny Team Flash from getting back into this game as much as possible.
I mean, yeah, jungle camps are one thing. My question is, when are they going to end the game? Like, this
Right
might
now,
be it.
because Hardy's
This might be it, yo.
Flag and drag from Levi trying to join into the fray.
Ooh, they're feeling themselves.
Warper coming through. 𝘀𝗀𝗆 not going to be able to get locked down. Flashes forward and then locks down the Lulu. Picks up the kill. Goes golden to deny the tower damage. 2 members dead from the side of a Team Flash. There won't be a game 3 to this series. GAM will take a 2-0. Not a clean 2-0. There are definitely still some rust on the team that they need to be able to shake off, but a solid performance nonetheless. A final play then for GAM as a final tower does fall. Dante will be the only member left standing, but for GAM it is a 2-0 win in under 26 minutes as GAM pick up their second win of VCS Winter Split.
What a dominant win it is in D, coming in from the side of GAM. Good 2-0. Yep, it's against Team Flash, but I think if you're on the side of GAM, you're de-rusting, you're in the process of getting better. You take this every single day. And yeah, we are seeing, sort of rusty plays. I keep saying rusty, but I feel like that's the best way you can describe it, right? Just, they're not really themselves at 100% just yet. So they are making some plays that could be questionable to perhaps spring split GAM, and that's really the detriment that they have to fix. And it's one of the reasons why Flash had really good mid games both of these games, because they were just really catching the throws that GAM were tossing at them, on top of, well, let's face it, some proactive brilliance coming in from Flash as well.
And Tim, let's grab your thoughts on that game, because this was kind of the opposite to game 1 in the sense that Flash were able to get the early lead, but this time GAM were able to bring themselves back in over some, well, fantastic objective control, really.
Yeah, I feel like it was, again, GAM also just being better in team fights. I think, again and again, we saw in game 1 that even though they were ahead in tempo at some points, Team Flash could never win fights or never win skirmishes. And this game, it was the same. GAM was losing out on the map. They were consistently caught out. They were falling behind. But once it came to team fights, once it came to objectives, they would always win.
And 𝘀𝗶𝗹𝗀, again, for Team Flash, it looked like maybe the start of the game was decent, but GAM just out-macroed them. GAM just out-fought them, right?
Yeah, I think that's basically how it is. I'm not entirely sure just yet if I would rate it as Flash being super good in the mid game or just GAM really faltering a lot. Obviously, we know GAM's current style is that they do falter in the mid game quite considerably compared to the rest of the stages. But I do want to credit Flash where I think it's due, where they, especially in the first game, right, had a lot of proactive plays. In the right ways, especially consistently in the early game, that managed to allow them to crawl back from a slight deficit. They just unfortunately were not able to sustain that. Several misplays in a row really allowed GAM to get their own way back into the game, and that's how they sort of ballooned their lead to a win at the end.
Okay, well, Tim, 𝘀𝗶𝗹𝗀, thank you ever so much for joining me on the Analyst Test. We're going to be jumping on to a short break, and we're not closing the stream just yet, because we're going to be having something very cool. We've got a player interview coming your way. Make sure to stay tuned here at VCS English. We'll be back in just a few minutes.